Alright, greetings Internet. It has been a while since I worked on this tutorial. I would apologize, but no one's going to know that because they're all getting released at the same time. Alright, moving on to the electric guitars. Just as a recap, as you can see my screen, it is broken down into folders: drums, bass, main instruments, backup track, electric guitars, vocals, and then my bus. This is sort of a newer style I'm trying to do in Pro Tools. Basically, instead of doing my buses all separate, I'm actually just sort of incorporating them into these subfolders. So this drum actually works as my drum bus as well as the folder containing all of my drums. This makes organizing a session that has quite a few tracks in it much more manageable. So we're going to go over to our guitars. As you can see, they're all down. I still got some panning on them from when I was mixing it earlier before I stripped everything out, so I'll try and adjust that as we go. And I'm not going to do everything in here, just a few of the guitar tracks until we sort of get a good idea of what we're doing. Alright, moving on. The guitars aren't playing the entire time of the song, so they're all playing in different spots, and those require separate processing for each as we throw them in the mix. So we'll start with this light guitar. I have another one on the left, so let's listen to that. Alright, for this particular recording, we're going to be actually a little very different than I normally, and I'll do something a little more normal here later on. But we're going to start here with the song. And so it already sits pretty well. It's a good recording. Direct. Sounds fine. So I'm not going to do, I usually do like a Renaissance Axx or 1176. I'm going to be a little creative, and we're going to do an R6, just as my general EQ and a little bit of dynamics. See where those fundamentals are. So I'm going to bring our high pass up to roughly where that is. Alright, now I'm just going to get rid of some annoying bits in the EQ. Alright, not much there actually. I'll leave that alone. We'll see what... Alright, there's a little mud in 650 I want to get rid of. And instead of actually, I'm just going to treat this like a normal EQ. I'm going to drop that 3. And then there's a little bit of annoyance about what is that, 2630. So we're going to get that down a little bit. And I am actually going to, that's a little too much. Do -3. Just as that high mid gets annoying, we're going to move on to later in the song as well. Listen to what that does for us. Alright, now we're going to do some general compression with the VCA, which is just the old standard VCA compressor. So I'll dirty up a little bit. Alright, so we are going for a slow release. I'm leaving the attack time pretty much where it was. So that's all we're doing with that. Move it over to the right. Gonna move this one. I'm actually just gonna copy it over, because they're exactly the same tone. bounce them into the main song. That's a simple way of doing that. Let's move on to these other guitars. We got guitar A over here. All right, so all we're going to do there I think guitar B is the same. Almost the same. All right, so all I'm going to do with this is add a Renaissance Axx to it. This is built specifically for electric guitars. Where are we? Old plug-in. Works great. So we're just going to solo that again. I think I'm going to do the same thing to the next one. I might EQ it. We'll see how it sits. I'm just going to get rid of some low end. Now I'm going to use the main EQ. Just going to do the REQ2. Maybe not go all the way up to 150 because I'm really starting to get cut some tone I like at that, so maybe 130. We'll do the same thing on this one. So one of the reasons I do this is just to clear out some room for the bass instruments, the bass guitar, and whatnot. So let's see what that does for us. All right, so let's move over to our lead B guitar. We'll sort of tidy up the rest of these later, but you get the general gist of electric. I don't want to take 2 hours. All right, let's listen to this. All right, on this one, I'm going to do the American Class A. First off, just get rid of some low end, clear out some room for the bass. All right. I'm going to get rid of a little bit of low mids, or lows rather. Find what I want. There it is. All right. So get around the 240 knob. I'm also going to do at 3K. All right, I actually like that better. Let's see what it sounds like if I boost it. And we're going to do a 3-to-1 ratio on the compression. Actually, I do think I'm going to cut around 2.5. All right, get a little boost at 200. Well, pretty big boost at 200. Just get a little more meat put back in below that. Obviously, I got that cut at 240 there, so it's above. So it's about 180 where the boost is actually happening, I would guess, and just adds a little bit more meat on that low end. All right, and then we're just going to, on this particular one, instead of doing a reverb bus, I'm just going to add a little reverb to this track using our CLA Epic All right, let's see what we got here. I'm gonna mute that. All right, let's mix into the song. All right, so that's it for guitars on these. Obviously, we got a lot more to go, but it's going to be mostly more of the same. I think I'm going to use the Renaissance Axx and the REQ. Anyway, I hope you learned something, and we'll move on to vocals next. Have a good day.